Hey, our mateys, it's summer. It's grilling time. It's barbecue time. Got a few tips for you here though on grilling. Now, grilling is different than barbecue. Barbecue is wet. You know, the sauce on it. It's a lower temperature, around 400 degrees. Grilling is a hot temperature. Now here at North Point, this is really nice. We got the grills, gas grills, got a thermometer on them, even helps you more. But grilling is 500 degrees or better, not 600. I mean, you're gonna turn your stuff to charcoal in a heartbeat. But you wanna get the grill hot. Now another nice thing here, when I set my wine down, these grills have a brazier on them, and we'll show you how to use that. Now for those of you that are real charcoal nuts, and I like charcoal too, I like the gas grill a little better because it's quicker and easier as far as I'm concerned. But if you want to get a wood smoke flavor to your meats, that's easy to do too. Just get your wood chips, and I know there's a controversy over dry or wet. I like to make them wet. You don't just throw them on the grill here. Take an aluminum foil pan or something like that, put your wood chips in there, put a cover over it, poke a few holes in it. Now you're going to get the smoke and you're going to get that wood flavor. So that's one thing. Next thing is, let's talk about tools. The right tools for the job. Long-handled tongs, and I like these. This is a restaurant quality. Some of these that you get in the 5 and dime store, you know, first time you pick up a piece of meat, it falls on the floor. No good. But a spatula and a tongs. Most of these kits are going to come with a fork. Throw it out. It's no good. You're poking holes in the meat. You're letting all the juice run out. That's what you seared it for to start with, is to seal it. You know, and we talk about how do you know how well done something is. Well, a lot of people like to use, and I have a meat thermometer, and I use it on some things, but I don't use it on grilling. And we're going to show you a little bit later how to tell how well done a piece of meat is just by touching it. So back to some of the basics here. Make sure your grill is clean. That's not an issue here at North Point. They are always clean. Sanitation. You know, don't use, say you're doing chicken. You pick up the chicken, you throw it in there. Don't go grabbing it again with the same tongs. What I use, so I got a bucket here of water and vinegar. When I'm done, I rinse it off. Now, I don't have soap residue on this, so I'm not going to contaminate the meat, but the vinegar helps sanitize this. So that works out real well. Next thing is, here we're going to do some pork chops in a little bit. I've got the pork chop here. When I'm done cooking it, I'm not going to put it back in this container. I'm going to put it on a clean plate. That's very important. Don't put your cooked meat back on the plate where the raw meat came from unless you're going to wash it first. Seasoning. Let's talk about seasoning. Now I did a dry rub on this, or you can do a marinade. You should do this at least an hour ahead of time. This is kind of my own concoction here. I did salt, pepper, garlic, and Old Bay. I'm on the Chesapeake Bay. You gotta use Old Bay. And I tapped it in. Now, these are only about 3/4 of an inch thick. You get a thicker piece of meat like a roast, for example, that you're gonna grill. No matter how much seasoning you put on that, it's only going to cook in about an inch, not quite an inch. So as you rotate it around, that's why you season all around it. Same with baking at home. You know, this is off topic a little bit, but say a turkey or whatever. the seasoning is only going to go in an inch no matter how much you put on. Just a fact of life. The next thing is, I think we talked about it already, get the grill hot. Let me get this thing going here. I got the brazier started first. You want to have a 2-heat system. The brazier is going to seal everything. Then I'm going to move the meat to a cooler temperature. So I'm going to go from about 550 to 500. Not much cooler, but it is. See what I mean about gas? We're ready to go in just a few minutes. All right, while we're waiting for that to heat up, might as well get a sip of wine. You can't cook without it. Okay, avoid flare-ups. You know, if you're doing burgers, for example, you're probably going to get a flare-up or two. Don't use a spritzer water on a gas grill. Man, that's just dangerous, guys. Move the food off to the side. Close the lid, smother the fire. Don't use water on a gas grill, please. And talking about burgers too for a minute here, while this is heating up. Make your own hamburgers. Don't buy this preformed burgers. Have you ever seen how those things are made? Well, I have. They go between 2 metal plates at about 1,000 pounds of pressure and get stamped out. Hell, half the flavor and the juice is gone out of it. Make your own burger. Like when we make ours, I put onions and green pepper in it and mushrooms. You can be creative. Do some other things with it, all right? We're still waiting on the grill here. Again, you know, we're gonna grab, not stab. Try to flip only once. Now you'll see when we do this on the brazier, we're gonna brown it, we're gonna flip it, then we're gonna move it off to the side. We're gonna let that sit there and cook till it's whatever you want it done. Now pork should be done at least medium well. Most people think it has to be done super well done. My wife is standing here with me. Her mother used to cook the pork chops. I used them for sandal soles. Don't overdo them, guys. Trichinosis is almost a thing of the past. The next thing is, once you're done, let it rest a little bit. Get a glass of wine, relax. Give it at least 5 minutes to rest. If you pull it off, you slap it on the plate, you start cutting it up, all the juices are running out. All the flavor is running out. Don't be in a hurry. It's summer. We're grilling. Take your time. Let's check on this. Okay, our grill now is at about 500. Let me move the camera for you so you can see what we're gonna do. All right, you see our grill here is nice and hot. Now let's take a look at this pork chop. If I push on this, you see that's staying indented. It's raw, it's staying indented. I'm gonna put this on here. And the key thing here is, when you push in, you see how that doesn't spring back. When it's medium, that's gonna spring back a little bit more. When it's well done, it's gonna be pretty solid to the touch. We're gonna close this up. Gonna rinse. Even though I'm gonna touch it again, the key here is, before you put it onto the plate, make sure you clean your tools. And the other thing, don't keep lift up, down, up, down. No, 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 no. You're letting all the heat out. Let's flip this over. I just want to show you here. You see how nice and brown that is? That's what we want. Got nice marks on it. Looks pretty. Couple more minutes, and then we're going to move it over to the lower heat. All right, now guys, see, we're good here. I'm going to move it over. Now watch. You see that's still a little springy, so it's not quite done yet. I'm going to move it over to this lower heat. We'll shut the brazier off. I'm going to wait a few more minutes for that to finish off. And while I'm thinking about it, I forgot to mention grill basket. This is fantastic. I mean, you know, for your vegetables, green beans, anything like, it's the same thing with grilling them though. Marinate them at least an hour ahead of time. Drain most of the oil off if you're using any kind of oil because you don't want to flare up. All that's going to do is give you a burnt flavor. Put them on there, let them sit a little bit, don't play with it, especially mushrooms. Then just shake it a little. Vegetables are done. All right, I think we're just about done. Again, now these are finished, they're ready to go onto the plate. I did handle the meat, well, it was still a little rare with the tongs, so I'm gonna sanitize them with my vinegar water again. And you know, with barbecue, what the heck, a little vinegar isn't going to hurt anything. But now you see how nice? See that springs right up? That's going to be done. Look how nice golden brown. Oh, I got to show you this one close. Look at that, man, oh man. I wish you guys were here to enjoy this with me. But we put it on our plate and we're ready to go. Well, there you have it, guys. Grilling basics. Until next time, happy and safe boating to you, your family, and friends. Bon appetit.